Hey, what is going on, guys? It's DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the 10-game NBA main slate on Monday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name's DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you guys cannot watch these YouTube videos, I do upload an Apple podcast. We'll link down below. It's called the DKDFS Show. If you guys are interested in signing up for premium content, and I'll offer that on patreon.com, a couple different packages, also linked down below. And then finally, I want to thank Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this show. If this is your first time watching or you're not familiar with what Underdog Fantasy has, well, they have daily fantasy snake drafts as well as season-long and playoff best ball. So if you guys want to sign up after your first deposit, you can enter the code DKDFS. With that code, they'll honor a money-back guarantee up to $100. And then finally, I just want to thank you guys again. The support recently has been overwhelming. So if you guys do enjoy this content, leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't like live. As always, we'll be doing a YouTube live stream. Before we're locked to go over everything, answer all your guys' questions, and let's aim for 200 likes on this video if we can get there. But yeah, with that all out of the way, let's jump in the video. So before we talk about players and the prices for this 10-game slate, let's look back in the lineup here from Sunday. So Sunday, right now, winning a GPP. We will see if it holds. It might not, but currently in first in the fourth quarter of that late game. So lineup-wise, went with Kyrie Irving, Terrence Davis, Ben Simmons, Kevin Durant, Tony Bradley, who unfortunately was the bust, Russell Westbrook, Yuta Watanabe, the GOAT, and Aaron Baines. So I can get out of the way so you guys can see the scores here. But yeah, looks like I think I'm going to get passed by the second. He has two guys. Yeah, I'm probably going to get passed by the guy in second. But, you know, if I can take second place here, I will not be complaining. So, yeah, I was basically hammering down the Washington-Brooklyn stack. I wanted to stack that game. I wanted to get the stars in that game. So I went with KD, who was great. Kyrie was a little bit disappointing. And Russell Westbrook, only 40% owned, went for 73 fantasy points. Ben Simmons was only 37% owned. So I was going back to the well there once we got Joel Embiid ruled out because he burned me the last time, but he did stay out of foul trouble, and he did come through for me this time. Terrence Davis was solid, 20 fantasy points. Again, Bradley was the one letdown, but he was 95% owned in this one. And then Watanabe, I didn't really feel comfortable with that, but it's just like I was prioritizing getting both the Brooklyn Stars, Westbrook, and Ben Simmons in my lineup. So I had to play, guys I didn't really love. Watanabe actually got me there. And then Aaron Baines as well. It was basically him, Dwight Howard I liked for value. I went with Baines, went for 30 fantasy points at only 7% owned. So that is the look back, guys. Hope you guys had a good night. We'll see if this holds. I'm guessing it won't. But if I can get second place, I'll take that as well. So yeah, it was a pretty good night for me. And let's see if we can keep it rolling here for this 10-game slate. So we have 5 of the 10 games out right now. Rockets and Thunder, it's a 224 over-under. The Rockets are 4.5-point favorites. Knicks and Bulls, a 218.5 over-under. The Bulls are 4-point favorites. Blazers, Bucks, a 235 over-under. The Bucks are 10-point favorites. Kings and Pelicans, a 233 over-under. The Pelicans are 3.5-point favorites. And Grizzlies, Spurs, there's no over-under right now. The Spurs are 3.5-point favorites. So we get that game again. Oh, that'll be fun. But all right, so let's first start with the Lakers and the Hawks. On the Lakers side, both LeBron and AD are questionable again. Both of them played last game. I expect both of them to play again here. If they both play, I think they're both decent options in a good matchup, but neither would be a priority. The minutes have been going up for them, like 38, 39, 36, 37 minutes for LeBron last 4 games. AD's been hovering in the mid to high 30s as well. So, that does make them more viable. Earlier on in the season, they were only playing 31, 32 minutes. So, if you land on either LeBron or AD, I think that's solid. If, one of those guys are out, then obviously, we look to Schroeder, Harrell, Kuzma, Montrez, with AD back, plays 30 minutes, goes for 32 fantasy points. I play him against Detroit, 23 minutes, 15 fantasy points without Anthony Davis. What? But yeah, if one of those guys are out, then we look to those guys in the mid-range like Schroeder, Harrell, Kuzma. But at the moment, there's not a ton I love for the Lakers. On the Hawks side, there's not a lot I like either. Trae Young is viable for GPPs. He's gone for 50 plus the last 4 games. He does have that upside, so I'm perfectly fine going to Trae for tournaments. Has a somewhat low floor, but he's getting a ton of shots up. I'm not going to go to Capella at 8-8. Just a little bit too pricey still. Like he can get you there, but like I need him to drop down to like the 7K range. Now DeAndre Hunter is out, but like I don't know if that does a lot for me. Like those minutes probably go to like Herter, Gallinari, Reddish. If you want to try to play one of those guys, you can. Last time I played Danilo Gallinari, he got me 1 fantasy point. So it's like maybe Reddish would be, I guess, my favorite wing, but I don't really like that a lot. So like there wouldn't be a ton I would love there from the Hawks, even with DeAndre Hunter out. Charlotte and Miami. So on the Charlotte side, Gordon Hayward is just up and down. The thing that is consistent with him is the minutes. He's playing 35 to 40 minutes a night. Production-wise, again, like he'll have games 40, 50 fantasy points, 40 or 50 fantasy point games. Other games will have like 25, 30 fantasy point games. It's not necessarily the best matchup, so I think he's not a priority, but definitely a solid play because you know the minutes will be there. Now, this is big news. Terry Rozier is questionable. If Terry Rozier misses and LaMelo Ball starts, I would have a hard time getting away from LaMelo Ball. He played 31 minutes the last game because Rozier went down one for 55 fantasy points. Now, sure, he's probably not going to shoot 8 of 10 again, but like he's a good point per minute guy. He is like the same player as Boucher, right? If we can project him for the minutes, he's most likely going to get us there. So like if I think he's going to play 30 minutes tonight, I think 6'5" would be underpriced even in this matchup. So like got to keep an eye on that. If Rozier's out and LaMelo starts, I would like LaMelo a good amount. Other options, I still have interest in Cody Zeller. I've been playing him every single slate here. He's continuing to come through. Now he's not like a smash play anymore at 5'3", but like I'm expecting around 30 to 35 minutes. Decent point per minute guy. Like I think he's still in play here at that price. No longer a smash play, but I think he's still viable. And that's it. Like Malik Monk, he did play 23 minutes. He played a little bit more with when Terry Rozier went down. Like maybe if he starts, you could punt with him at 3-3, but I wouldn't love that. And that's it for the Charlotte side. And the Miami side, again, I'm still kicking myself for not playing Jimmy the other night. I told you guys it was my favorite GPP play, and I didn't play him. They stuck true to their word. Like he was not on a minutes limit. He did play 34 minutes. Now the price came up to 8-4. It's still a good matchup. I don't think he's as good of a play in this slate, but I still think he's viable here if we're going to get 35 minutes out of Jimmy Butler against the Charlotte Hornets. Bam at almost 9.5. I do like the matchup, but it's like he's priced right, maybe even overpriced. Hero and Dragic are both questionable. We'll have to see. Like if they're both out, maybe we could go to a guy like Kendrick Nunn, who did not play. I think he did not play because, late arriving test results. Like that wasn't on purpose. It was because of those test results. So, like, if they're both out, maybe you go to Kendrick Nunn at 6K. But, like, value-wise, I don't want to play any of these value Miami Heat. Like, Iguodala, I did play 26 minutes. The minutes have been a little up and down. I guess if I had to pick one, it would be Iguodala. Moving on to New York and Chicago. So, Julius Randle against the Chicago Bulls front court, I do like. The minutes are going down on him. He's only playing about 35 minutes, but I still think he's in play here because of the matchup. I love targeting bigs against this Chicago Bulls team. So, matchup-wise, he'll be matched up against like Lauri Markkanen. He should be able to feast. I do like Julius Randle, good amount there at 9-2. RJ Barrett is a secondary play at 6-7. Would rather have Randle. Now, Emmanuel quickly intrigues me for GPPs. Has played 24, 23, 25, and 27 minutes the last 4 games. He's an aggressive player when he's out there, right? He's got a high ceiling. When he is scoring the ball, he's going to continue to shoot. That when he's not, hitting shots, he does have a somewhat low floor. But, 3 of the last 4 games, 42, 37, and 36. So, like, I don't think I can pull the trigger on him in cash games, but I do like this matchup a good amount. And if we're going to get 25 minutes out of quickly, I think he's a good GPP play. Mitchell Robinson, I'll pass. Like the rest of they're getting too healthy now with like Burks and Rivers and Reggie Bullock. Like how many minutes did Alec Burks play? He played 22 minutes. Like sure, I guess that's all right. Nerlens Noel did miss that last game. I will mention a pretty risky punt play, but he's at min price. He actually played the backup center role. Was Taj Gibson, played 18 minutes. Now he's 0-4. He only had 10 fantasy points, but he's min price. It's a revenge game. If there's no Noel, I would expect similar minutes. So like, yeah, maybe you could punt with him, but that's really it. On the Chicago side, New York plays slow, so like Levine's a guy I've been really liking recently, but I don't know if I'm going to prioritize him in this slate. Markkanen at 6'8", had a good shooting game last time out, but I think it's fine. Kobe White at 6'6", the minutes have been up and down on him. I don't know what to make of it. Like, only played 24 minutes there against the Bulls, but then 32 and 34. I would say normally the plan is for him to play 30 to 35 minutes, but if he's not playing well, they can cut him short. So it's like, I can't trust that in cash. Wendell Carter Jr. still out. I think Thad Young's decent play. He'll probably play around 30 minutes. He's been, can stuff the stat sheet. Almost went for a triple-double. He's almost had a triple-double in back-to-back games. So it's like, I think Thad is fine. The price is coming up. He's not like a smash play, but I think he's decent. Should get about 30 minutes. Otto Porter Jr. is also questionable if he's out. Probably a little bit more minutes for Thad. Would I go to like Garrett Temple or Patrick Williams? I don't know if I want to. These guys are both, lower usage guys. I guess you could make the argument for Patrick Williams, but like I don't really want to do that. And that's probably it. Like Valentine, it was basically out of that rotation last game. So I think that's it for me on the Chicago side. Moving on to Minnesota and Cleveland. So that's a game going on right now. I'm hoping that game can end quick. Karl-Anthony Towns is they ruled him out for the game tonight. We'll see if he's available for tomorrow. It's getting around that time period where he might be able to return. Naz Reid also questionable. If they're both out, you could punt with Ed Davis, who is at 3.8. Vanderbilt will play the backup 5. I think he would be like an okay play too. Anthony Edwards has been starting and been playing about 30 minutes. He's on pace for I think around 30 tonight. The thing I like about Edwards is he's not afraid to shoot it, but he does have a somewhat low floor if he's not hitting his shots. And then you have D'Lo and Malik Beasley. D'Lo at 7K, Beasley at 6.7. I think like Cat is out. You could go to those guys in GPPs. Price is coming down a bit on D'Lo. Curious to see what he finishes with for minutes tonight. But that's probably it. Like McDaniels, if Cat and Naz are out, he'll probably play around 20 minutes. You could punt with him at basically min price. On the Cleveland side, so I mentioned Drummond liking him for GPPs tonight. I like him for GPPs for the slate tomorrow. He probably will play around 28 minutes, but I like the matchup from a lot. And again, I think he can still get it done in that time. So like Drummond is a viable GPP play. Sexton at 7K, I think is fine. Probably plays mid 30s minutes. Got a little bit banged up, went to the locker room, did come back. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. If he's full go, I expect 30 to 35 minutes. So I think he's a fine GPP play. Garland would be all right too at 5'9", like probably at around 30 minutes, but neither of those guards would be a priority for me. That's probably it for Cleveland. Moving on to Portland and Milwaukee. So Dame Lillard had the huge game. Last game went for 67 fantasy points there against Chicago. Would not expect 67 again here against this Milwaukee team, but I still think he's a viable GPP play. I don't know if I prioritize him in a cash game setting at almost 11K, but like we know the upside is there with no CJ, with no Nurkic. Cantor at 7.2, that just seems priced right. Like he's been getting the minutes. He should get 30 to 35 minutes. He's a good point per minute guy. I think like you can still do it, but like there's not enough like meat on the bone. Like if he was like 6K, I would like him a lot more. With Covington back, it kind of takes the wings out of play. Gary Trent Jr. is almost at 6K. Like he's very reliant in scoring. He had 4 steals and a block, so it's like you're not going to get that again. Again, he doesn't do much of the peripheral. So like I'll pass at an overpriced Gary Trent. Rocco at 5K probably gets around 30 minutes. I guess that's all right. Carmelo got his minutes limited. I think he only played 17. It's just like none of those wings really stand out. Simons at 4.2. Like he'll probably play mid-20s minutes. You could go to him as a value option, but I don't love it. And that's it. Like Nasir Little started that last game, only played 14. I don't want to play Nasir Little. Moving on to the Milwaukee side, so I do like the matchup here a good amount for Giannis Antetokounmpo, 11K. He's probable. As long as he's good to go, I expect, in a close game, over 35 minutes. He's gotten 38, 39, and 39 minutes the last 3 games, which is really good to see. And this is just a smash matchup here against Portland. So I do like Giannis at the top. There is some bull rust, I think, here, but definitely like the upside. Middleton and Drew are solid as well if you can't afford Giannis, but I would probably, if I'm going to spend up, I would just get to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Brolo, Bobby Portis, minutes are up and down in them. Bobby, I think, played 20 the last game. You can take a shot on him for GPPs, but like I said, the minutes are fluctuating. Pat Connaughton's at 3.7. I think he had a decent game last time. He's gone for 20 plus last couple of games, so it's just like, almost 4K for him. I don't love that price, and that's probably it. So really, it's like Giannis, who I like the best, and then like Middleton and Drew are viable as well. Sacramento and New Orleans. So De'Aaron Fox at 8.3K. The good thing with De'Aaron Fox is he should play like 35 or so minutes in a close game. He's a guy that can stuff a stat sheet. Went for 47 last time out in a tougher match against Miami. So like I think he's viable here. Now the Pelicans have been playing at a slower pace, but like they're not like a great defensive team. They don't have a lot of good defenders. So like I think De'Aaron Fox is viable there. Hield and Barnes are just stayaways. I just don't trust them. Rashawn Holmes, minutes have been trending down for him. Wasn't in foul trouble last game, which is a little bit worrisome. So like I'm probably going to stay away from Holmes. Marvin Bagley's at 5'9". Been playing like 20 to 25 minutes. I guess you could use him. Halliburton's the guy that I do like at 5'2". Minutes have been going up for him. He's been playing around 30 minutes. He's the guy that can stuff the stat sheet, run for 10, 7, and 6. I like guys that fill up the stat sheet because when they're scoring, when they're having a good shooting game, they can have a really big game. So like Halliburton, I do like at that price. Whiteside at 3.6 has played 20 minutes in back-to-back games. Again, the minutes are going down on Holmes. They're going up on Whiteside. Do I fully trust this? No. But Whiteside's a good point per minute guy. I do have some interest in it. If I knew he was going to play 20 minutes, I would really like him. But will we get 20 minutes? I'm not convinced about it. So, I do have some interest in Whiteside at 3.6 if he's going to continue to play about 20 minutes. On the New Orleans side, oh man, that was so tilting the other slate. Zion Williamson was on, he was 15% owned against Houston, was on pace for 50 plus fantasy points, and that game blew out. Price came up a little bit, but I don't know if it came up enough for this matchup. I do like Zion quite a bit again here. Love the spot here against Sacramento, so I do like Zion. I prefer him to Ingram. Zion's just been more consistent than Brandon Ingram. So I would rather have Zion than Ingram. And I do like both the guards too. In Bledsoe and Lonzo Ball, I really like this matchup. Both the guards have been playing in close games over 30 minutes, right? 29 because of the blowout, but they were on pace for mid-30s. I like Lonzo and I like Bledsoe here. Probably prefer the price on Lonzo, but both are firmly in play at their respective prices. I like them both. And then we might have some value here. If Steven Adams is out, he's currently questionable. He had to leave the last game. If he misses, I would guess it would be Jackson Hayes that starts. If Jackson Hayes starts at 4K, I think he's a good value play. I mean, I guess they could start Guillermo Hernan-Gomez too. They also have Nicola Melli they could use as a small ball 5. So we'll see. We'll see what they do. But whoever does start, I would like them for value. Guessing it would be Jackson Hayes if Steven Adams is out. Now, if Steven Adams is in and there's no limitations, I actually like him. Again, he's previous 2 games before he got injured, 33 and 38 minutes, has a pretty high floor. It's a good matchup. So I would like Adams himself if he does play. Josh Hart's at 4.3, been playing about 20 minutes. I don't love that. NAW, again, the minutes have been going, he did play 33, I guess, the last game. Oh, I think they must have gone small ball. Yeah, so they go on small ball against Houston, that's why. Sacramento, I mean, if they're going to play Holmes and Whiteside, they're a little bit of a bigger team. You could use NAW in tournaments, but I'm not as comfortable with his minutes as compared to Ball and Bledsoe. All right, let's finish it up with the last 4 games here. Houston and OKC. So I do like this game for tomorrow. Christian Wood's at 8-9. The minutes haven't been amazing on him. I expect around 30 to 32 minutes. Now, he can still get it done. He's a good point per minute guy, but at that price, it just seems priced about right. Oladipo at 8K, kind of the same thing. He's gone for 40 plus last couple games, but I don't love. It is a revenge game here, but I don't love the price on him. Now, John Wall is the guy that I do have interest in, below 7K. Only played 26 minutes. The game did blow out. He was on pace for about 30. I'm guessing those minutes are slowly going to tick up. Maybe we get 32, 33 minutes here. If we do, I think below 7K is too cheap for John Wall. So I do have some interest in him at that price point. Gordon, Cousins will probably stay away. I don't want to go to any of the value here on Houston. Moving on to the OKC side. So SGA, I like a lot here at 8.1K. Only played 31 minutes, but again, that was a blowout. The previous 2 games were 31 and 32, which was a little bit, I was like, why did he only play those that few of minutes? But he was on pace for more if the game did not blow out. So I'm guessing we get mid-30s minutes from Shea if the game stays close. I really like the matchup here. So Shea at 8.1K, I do like a good amount. And Al Horford, we're finally getting the Horford that I thought we would get this year. I thought he'd be a really good fantasy player, and he just started off so slow. Now, minutes aren't great, but he's going to play about 30 in close game. I like the matchup here against Wood, Boogie, Cousins. I do have some interest in Al Horford. Even at an elevated price at 6-1, I think he's a solid play. Baisley, more of the boomer bust play. I think he's fine for tournaments. Now, we do have no George Hill, so Maladon at 4.3, I think is a decent value play. Now, he did shoot 8 of 9, he had a good shooting game. Don't think he's a must play, but I expect around 30 minutes. That's what we've been getting, so he's solid. Diallo should get about 20 minutes, a decent point per minute guy, but I don't love that. Lou Dort, the minutes have been there. He's not been hitting his shots, 2 of 14, 2 of 10. You can go there in tournaments because he's that cheap, but that's probably it for me in OKC. Phoenix and Dallas, so got to monitor the status of Devin Booker. Devin Booker is questionable. If he plays, I have no interest in these Phoenix Suns. If he misses, it's Paul and Ayton that I think are both solid plays in the 8K range. Paul should play mid-30s minutes. He went for 60 fantasy points. Again, kind of his ceiling. Definitely his ceiling. That's the biggest game we've seen from Chris Paul all year. And then DeAndre Ayton should play mid to high 30s minutes. He played 39 minutes the last game. So I would like Paul and Ayton if Devin Booker's out. If Devin Booker's in, I'm not going to get to either. The wings with Bridges, Crowder, Cam Johnson are all just filler plays. I'm not going to prioritize any of those guys, and that's it for me. I don't have any interest in the value. Moving on to Dallas, so Luka has had back-to-back kind of floor games here against Phoenix. Only went for 49 with no Porzingis. That was a little bit surprising, but yeah, Bridges is like a decent defender. I mean, Phoenix does have some solid wing defenders. Gone below 50 the last 3 games. I think that will lower the ownership. I'm perfectly fine going back to the well here for Luka if you want to. In tournaments, does have a decently high floor, and we know the ceiling is there with him. Porzingis at 7-6 does intrigue me. He was out the last game, was in foul trouble that previous game, so only played 25 minutes. I expect around 35 minutes from him, and I think the matchup is solid against like DeAndre Ayton. So I kind of like Porzingis here for tournaments at 7-6. You could see an upside game. The rest of the players with Luka and Porzingis back don't love Dorian Finney-Smith. I think he played 34 minutes. I think he's actually okay. They kind of limited the minutes for these guys in the first couple of games back, but Dorian Finney-Smith played 34. I think Josh Richardson got some good minutes too. Yeah, he played 35. So they're both again low usage guys, but you could punt with either of them if they're going to continue to get mid-30s minutes. But yeah, I'm not going to go to Willie Cauley-Stein with Porzingis back, so that's probably it. Memphis and San Antonio. So what are the minutes going to be like in this game? That was such a tilting game on Saturday. The minutes for both teams were just terrible. Ja Morant only played 28 minutes. He had almost 40 in 28 minutes. I was expecting 35. So he's got 1 game under the belt. I assume the minutes go up. By how much is the question. So if he plays 30 minutes, don't love him. If he plays closer to 35, I think he's a really good play at 7-6. So this is a situation that's we're kind of guessing on minutes. I'm hoping if you play Ja, you got to hope he plays closer to the 35-minute mark. If he does, I think he could have a really good game at this price. So I do like Ja, just kind of dependent on the minutes. Brandon Clark at 6'2", only played 26 minutes. Again, I would assume the minutes go up for him a bit. Tillman did only play 21 minutes. They actually went more with Gorgie Jang. Curious about this one. Jang played 27. Tillman played 21. They should split the center minutes. I think they're both decent value plays at their respective prices. I'm not getting into Brooks or Slow-Mo. DeAnthony Melton, for some reason, played 32 minutes kind of just out of nowhere. I do not expect 32 minutes again. I'll probably pass on him. And that's it. So it's Ja that I like a good amount. I think Clark's viable in the mid-range. And then, the center with the center combination of Tillman, Jang, I think are both okay value plays below 5K. On the San Antonio side. So we got popped on Saturday. Are you guys ready to get popped again? I'm ready to get popped again. DeMar DeRozan at 7K. That's too cheap. Trust me, I know what happened last game. You don't have to tell me. He was almost 50% owned, went for 7 fancy points, only played 25 minutes. Price didn't move. I'm fine going right back to the wall with him. It's going to lower the ownership as long as he plays 35 minutes. And will we get those minutes? I don't know, because it's Popovich. Now, I think they limited them because of the back-to-back. That's my guess. But it's not there's no guarantee with these minutes. If we do get 35 minutes from DeMar DeRozan, I think he's a really solid play at 7K. I also like DeJounte Murray once again at 6'6". I expect around 30-ish minutes, maybe a little bit more. Again, a good point per minute guy. So it's Murray, it's DeRozan that I like again. The rest of the plays, I'm just staying away from. Keldon, LMA, 2 up and down for me. I'm not getting to Mills with Derek White back. Derek White came back, played 22 minutes, had a good game. In 20-ish minutes, I'm probably not going to do it yet. Jakob Poeltl's the last guy I mentioned him as a value play last slate. Played 18 minutes at 27 fantasy points. You could punt with him, but I don't think it's a must for by any means. And then Rudy Gay only played. He did play the minutes are just up and down on him. The rest of these guys it's too hard to trust the minutes. So it's Murray and DeRozan for me again. A little bit, not as confident because of minutes that last game. But if DeRozan gets 35 and DeJounte Murray gets over 30, I think they're both really good plays. Will we get those minutes? That's up to Popovich. Last game here, Detroit, Denver. So I have a little bit of revenge here for Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee. Jeremy Grant went on a stretch where he was just crushing, coming back down to earth a bit, 27 and 22 fantasy points last couple games. Now, sure, right, that was a blowout. It's a revenge game. It's a good matchup. If you're into that, I think he's a decent GPP play. Also, Mason Plumlee, Denver's obviously a big team. They're going to need Mason Plumlee to stay out there. But the question is, will he stay out of foul trouble? This is a guy that's fouled out multiple times already this year. It's it's a concern. You guys do not. You guys know I do not like starting centers against Nikola Jokic. So it's like, it's a little bit. You're not going to feel good about playing Plumlee because of the foul trouble concerns. If I knew he stayed out of foul trouble and played 30 minutes tonight, I would really like him. But like I said, just not a good feeling. I'm not going to DeLon Wright at that price with Derrick Rose back. Everyone else should kind of stay away with everyone healthy. Like Blake Griffin will have one good game out of like 5 or 6. There's just no way in a 10-game slate I'm going to him. And finally, Denver. So absolutely great matchup here for Nikola Jokic. Just went for almost 80 there against Utah. Really like him at the top. There is some bullet risk here. Like this Detroit team is terrible. One of the worst teams in the league. But if it does stay close, I expect mid to high 30s minutes for Nikola Jokic, and it's just an absolutely amazing matchup. So really like Jokic there at the top. Murray and MPJ are fine GPP plays. Murray, the minutes have been a little bit more consistent, so I'd rather get to Murray. Like MPJ, it's just only 19 and 20 minutes. He did have 5 fouls, but like I just never trust the minutes with him. Sometimes like Mike Malone will just bench him randomly. Now Gary Harris left that game today. If he misses, I think we could have some value here with like Monte Morris, Will Barton. Will Barton played 37 minutes. Will we get 37 again? Probably not, but like I could see using him for value. I could also see going to Monte Morris at 3.8, played 26 minutes. I believe he started the second half when Gary Harris went down. Not a super high usage guy, but if we get like mid-20s minutes from Monte Morris, I think 3.8K is a little bit underpriced. Millsap and Green are going to split the 4. Like, they're both fine. Camposo played a little bit. I think he played, 19 minutes. You could punt with him, I guess, if Gary Harris is out, but I think I'd rather go to Monte Morris. And, yeah, that's really it for the team-by-team breakdown, guys, and I think that's going to do it for the video as well. So, if you haven't enjoyed the content so far, I would really appreciate if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't like live. Thanks again. Have a great night, guys, and I'll see you all tomorrow in the live stream.